Hello, and welcome to Late Night Creatures, the only late night show where I draw creatures, and that's the entire show. As usual, I have zero plans, so we're just going to jump into it and get started with our first creature. Give me a sec. Got to make sure that essentially what my monitor is volumes turned down, and I didn't even think about that line before I made it, but we're going to roll with it, because that's how we work on this show. But there's some room to work here. I might scrap this in a second, but we'll see if it has some hidden potential. I think it probably does. We just got to work it a little bit. So that's a very strong. That's a big eraser. What was I doing earlier? So this is a strong shape that we were starting with here. Two very strong shapes. So moving on from here, we should probably decide what this is going to be, because it could either be a head or it could be a hat. So let's explore. If we make it a hat, then we'd have to put the head, depending on how big this dude is, the head would have to probably go something like this. Like so. And then we'd have to do, make some adjustments, make it a little more like a hat. I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a big old hat, because that's the path I'm going down, and that's the path that I was thinking of going down, and so that's what we're going to roll with for now, at least. Maybe it'll become a hat face or something later, but who really knows? I sure don't. I fly by the seat of my pants. Let's keep moving. So we have this big old hat. It actually probably needs to be a little smaller, a little shorter, so it looks better. Yeah, that'll do it. Perfecto. Okay. So we have our guy. There's a head area. So let's move on to a body. I've made this sloping back here, but let's make these shoulders. I want to make these big old shoulders. So we'd have another set over here, but it's going to be mostly obscured, because it would go well, that's not exact, but you get the picture. And so we can move on from there. Oh yeah, hats are great. I don't think I've done really many things wearing hats. Or no, that's not true. 2 episodes ago, I did 3 different things wearing hats. But in this episode, it's going to be one guy wearing a big hat. So I'm kind of going for a football player type of build. He's got these big shoulders, and we'll make this come down at less of a sharp angle. More like this. Yeah. And then we'll support that with, some body. He's doing a lean. He's leaning a bit. But yeah, so we gotta make sure that we have a body back here. So yeah, rotund boy, indeed. We need to make sure that we have a body here being supported, like so. And that will allow us to move forward more effectively. Okay, yeah. Oh, he's starting to take shape actually really well out of the start that we had. I really started pretty absent-mindedly, which I've been trying to avoid doing. But hey, sometimes it works out. It's hit or miss. And it's definitely hit or miss. So we're going to keep trucking ahead. Yeah, he's on his way here. So I'm going to leave the arms for a second. By that I mean I'm not going to do them for a second. I'm going to take a step away from that area of the body and move a little more into this face. So he's got a... Oh, this is a character right here. What a character. And then he's going to be a very stern individual. He's going to have these very serious... This is a very... It's hard to describe, but this one is a lot more of a cartoon character than I usually draw. Like they're cartoons. Do not get me wrong. They are cartoon characters every episode, but I don't know. There's just something very like Cartoon Network about this guy right now. Gotta give him a mouth, and he's gonna be not. Yeah, he's gonna be a very stern individual, to be sure. We'll have him making a very intense scowl. He'll be someone made a hit or miss joke because I said hit or miss, and it was a friend. Just know I don't approve of it. Okay, so this is actually looking pretty cool. So now we're going to do this, because this is definitely a helmet. No, okay, I'm wrong. This one's a lot more of a human. This isn't very creature. I gotta make this one more creature, because right now this is just a funny football player. Especially now that I've made it even more like a funny football player. But we can work on that when we do the other parts. But for now, this works. So we have him like this, and we got these shoulder pads that I'm going to make look a little more like shoulder pads by just giving them a bit more, bulk and some more, I guess, weight, or try and give a little more weight to them, make them a little more robust. Like, try and do something along these lines. Yeah, that works. It kind of looks like an orange if you put the little right there. But we will ignore that, and we will just move on. So now we got to move on to the arms. The arms are going to be important. I think I want him to be running forward, so this like extreme lean we've given him has some idea to it. So we got to give him interesting arms. I think this arm is going to be the one that's going front. So bear with me here, because drawing these arms is actually probably not going to be the most fun thing in the world for most of us, but it'll work out, I promise. We're doing some very intense foreshortening here to make it look a little more action-packed. And so for these arms, gosh, I really just want to draw it. Okay, look, here's the deal. It's my show. I can just draw a cool football player if I want. We can put the creature somewhere else. Because this right now, as of now, this is just a cool football player, and I will keep it that way. More likely than not, I'll keep it that way. Just because this is the first arguably human thing I've drawn in a while that I've been super happy with. Like, as far as a cartoon goes, that hand is very small. I say that, but I might regret saying that. Let's make this hand, instead of that, let's have it be like more of a, because you shouldn't run with your fist closed. So let's really make it a detailed hand here. God, I'm messing these fingers up. See, this is what I was saying. This whole proportion and being in the proper perspective thing is not going to be the most fun thing to most terrifying creature ever to be shown to humans. And yeah, he could be fighting the creature. I might make him running from a creature, because I have drawn him in a pretty short amount of time, which is good. I'm just trying to get all these. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm just trying to get all these fingers right, because now I'm kind of dedicated to making this thing look good. There are times in this show where I can accept, like, okay, it's not going to look great, and that's fine. But this is one of the ones where I'm like, no, this one's going to look good. I swear it. I don't know why I bent his pinky like that. I have no idea why I did that. Also, this is the last try. If I don't get it perfect this time around, or at least better, then I'll stop trying. But I think this will be the one. God, because this pinky wasn't far out enough. So now we can cut in like that. There we go. That's fine. It's by no means perfect, but it's all right. I'll take it for now. I'm just going to curve this a little bit so that it look just because make these a little more curved to just try and add to the fleshy, the fleshy feel that things should have. Curves are much more fleshy than straight lines. And so I just wanted to make that a little more, that looks fine. Actually, that looks pretty good. I'll take that for sure. And so now we got to do the other one. This one should take longer, though, because it's going to be much less detailed. It's going to be very far back. Like so. Yeah. It's too big. There we go. And yeah, so this one's going to be very far back. And so we'll have this going and like so. See, that one, hey, that actually looks I can accept that for sure. That actually doesn't look terrible. Usually whenever I try and do foreshortening stuff, it looks really bad. But I guess I don't know. But that actually looks all right. I will take it. And now we got to do legs. But legs will be easier because I'm not going to make them complex. I didn't make those complex either. Also, I'm going to just slap a number on this guy real quick. I'm going to put 12, my favorite number. Don't ask why. Just know that it is. Just throw a 12 on there real quick. And yeah, it's in perspective enough. And now we got to do the legs. So legs should go opposite. So again, we're going to have a very foreshortened leg coming out here. Like so. See, this one doesn't look as good. I got confident. Shouldn't do that. I should not do that. But I'm not going to harp on it too much because I don't want to waste time. So we're just going to get this looking all right. And that's the best we're going to do. I thought it would look weird until you zoomed out, but it's a really solid. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, I mean, I've learned how to do it at school, but I've never been too good at it. And so I was very worried when I started drawing and deciding what this was going to be. Now you're probably about to see where it looks bad, but who knows? Maybe I'll surprise myself again. But as of right now, I don't have too much confidence in this one. But maybe I'll be wrong, and that would be great. So I need to clean this up, and then we can zoom out. Actually, you know what? Let me put the other leg in, because that'll really help us see it. Fun fact, and this is just a tip that I've learned. I feel more confident giving tips on this show now, just because I have like at least some modicum of knowledge, like professional knowledge. And here's the thing, is if you think that something looks bad, but you've been struggling with it, wait until you draw everything else. I need to kick this leg up because he's running. So this leg needs to go up like this. But it needs to be smaller than that. Oops. It needs to be smaller than that. So I need to bring this in more and then bring it up. Like so. So then I can put this on here. I can do that. And then it'll look like that. See, this is a much more dynamic creature than wow, look at him go. That I can accept that. We're gonna lasso him. I can accept that. He looks kind of cool. I'll take it. So now we're gonna make him a little smaller. here, just so that we can just so that we can have some space, because we got to put something behind him. And I'm actually going to throw a new layer up, and I'm going to do some fun tricks. I won't go through exactly what I'm doing to do this because it's pretty simple, but if anyone wants to know, I can talk about it. So I think for the creatures, I think I'm just going to do silhouettes, because I since they're far away. Oh, thanks. Since they're far away, in theory, and large, I don't want to put too much detail on them, so they look a little more ominous. So this is where we're gonna get really bold. We're gonna make a lot of bold moves and bold decisions here, so that we can effectively, yeah. So we have some big shapes, like this one, who I will, rats. See, that's the problem, though. When you do this, you got to be really careful, because there are times when you will accidentally do something much... there are times where you'll take one really long and big stroke, and if you mess up at any point during that stroke and try to erase it, then you lose everything that you did, which is not ideal in any way, shape, or form. Okay, and so now we got to give him some arms. I want to give him just some big classic clawulons. That's what they call claws in some country. And so don't worry about this. This is going to get a little clearer in a bit, but I'm going to wait on it. Actually, I lied. I'm going to do it now. I lied to you. So now we're going to do a bit of reductive work. We're going to erase with our pen here. I have a transparent color on, so I'm painting on the eraser with the normal pen tip, because the pressure sensitivity is much better. And we'll take this in, like so, and we'll move this across here. And now here comes some magic, maybe, if I do it well, where we'll have this and that go out. It's a little messy, but I can clean it up, because I am in control of everything on this canvas. Not in the world. Wouldn't that be the life? But just on this canvas, I'm in control of everything. Oh, hey, welcome to the Late Night Creatures. I thought I was just drawing another 12 at first. Really interesting. That would be funny. That could have been an interesting visual gag, but I did not think of it. And so we are now here. So yeah, just using some white to add some highlights to the silhouette here. I'll actually even make him be wearing like sort of a cloak. Not sort of a cloak. We'll have him be wearing like a cloak here. You can see the through line of, like so. Give me a sec to think about how this cloak should work. Bear with me. And that's not perfect, but actually I know what I need to change. This was too close. There it is. So now I can bring the cloak up here and have it come down. There it is. Excellent. So this is one creature we have done, and now I'm going to put another one behind him. And see, I've set it up to where, oops, I'm still on the transparent one, but I've set it up to where I can do this no problem, even though our little runner is transparent still. And so yeah, just even though I've selected everything except for him, and so even though he's just lines, I can still add stuff and it'll look like it's behind him. That's much too close, but it'll look like it's behind him. It's a fun, cool trick. It's a fun, cool trick that I've done, and it's easy and fun to do. It's not a trick I use too much. Usually I'll just color them and then do layering. But on this show, you gotta do the quicker solutions. And the quicker solution is doing the thing that I said. So now we gotta add a face on this one. I'm gonna make this one. Oh, I'm gonna try and draw it from memory. I'm gonna try and make this one look like a Furby. You guys remember Furbies? Anyone? They were the worst, but they were fun. So we're going to do this like so. Give them these big old eyes, the classic. And then we'll do that to it. I'm surprised. Just be on the lookout because I'm almost certain at some point there's going to be like a Furbies animated movie. So just be prepared. Because honestly, if it doesn't happen before I could make it, I'll make it. And then it'll be scary. If I were to be the one to make it, it would be terrifying. Furbies can rot. I don't agree with that. They were fun. They were a cool time. And they, their mouths were really weird and awful. They were like kind of like beaks basically. And they would go like this, I think. I'm doing this entirely from memory. So if you want to pull up a reference photo of a Furby on your device and let me know how well I'm doing, go for it. I take criticism. Unlike certain artists on the platform, I'm not going to get into any hot takes, but don't worry about it. So they kind of looked like this. They had like their faces, their mouths weren't beaks, but they were like kind of beaks. Why isn't this drawing? Oh, because I didn't select it. There we go. And this is kind of what okay, I'm wrong. This is not what don't take my word for it. Actually, it would maybe be a little better if I made him a little thinner. Oops. If I made him a little thinner. Like so. Yeah, just give him a bit of a trim here. Like that. And that's not a it's not a Furby, much to my dismay, but it is still a thing and we'll take it. So now I'm going to make them look even better cuz I'm just going to let me make sure I have the line of sight. Yeah, about there. About there. Yeah. So we have that going on. This is very silly. And he's going to be similar. His will be smaller because he has smaller eyes, and so the ratio is much different. That's cool. Okay, and I'm going to try and draw some type of road behind him here real quick that he's sort of running back from. Ooh, gotta be careful. This is going to have to be very precise. Yeah. Okay. And so we got that in, and we can add in a real quick. I don't need the. Oof. Why isn't this? Hold on. Something's not working like it's supposed to work. There we go. Can add in a little horizon here so we know where the world ends. Not in reality, just in this drawing. It's the end of the world from this perspective. So we have that. And well, bam, we did a whole stinking scene. All of these can be found in the real world. Can they? Maybe this one, and I think the boy can, but I don't know about this one. This doesn't seem like it belongs in the real world, but maybe that's just like my personal ideas. Who knows? I sure don't. Okay, I don't know why the canvas went so far away. Now we can shade with 5 minutes left. That's enough time. I'm always worried, and we're gonna do it in that red color. Well, what? That was dumb. We're gonna do it in red, the red that I used earlier. He's gotten much smaller. I need a bigger one than this. There we go. I forgot that I shrunk him down, and so I was using my usual pen sizes, and stuff was wonky. Okay. So, and I'm definitely, we're going to have this shadow not go over the helmet, but we're going to have this go over his entire upper face here. He's intense. I like this guy. Maybe you guys will maybe see this guy in other work, because I like this design a lot, actually, which is cool. That's a fun thing to stumble upon. Also, that's wrong, what I just did. It's a fun thing to stumble upon, for sure. Just a random, fun, good design. And don't get me wrong, I like all the Late Night Creature designs, but a lot of them are good just in their current state. They don't. Doing anything else with them would be like impractical, for most of them, just because can't animate most of them because they're too complicated. You can't. I mean, the stories with them are pretty open and shut usually. From my rambling, we haven't really given a story to this guy, but that's okay. He doesn't really need one. Look at him. He's a football player. There's monsters. He's gonna save the day. I mean, that's all. That's all you really need to know. And so we have that. So moving down, let's see. Is the football player a child? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess. He definitely seems not like an adult. In my opinion. Child's maybe a stretch. Teenager, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, we didn't do much story. I was too focused on trying to do cool stuff like foreshortening and silhouette work. But hey, maybe it was worth it. I think it was worth it. I'm really happy with this drawing from a drawing standpoint. As far as like just being a silly creature, this isn't very much a silly creature, but it's kind of just a fun drawing. And that's, in my opinion, maybe not. In my opinion, that's just as good. I'll take that any day of the week. And these guys I can't really shade, because they're all the black. Don't take that in the wrong way. But they're just a silhouette. There's no detail to shade. Okay. We can do a little bit here. I think I do want to get like into, with the extra time I have, get into like the eye crease here. More on those. I want him to look really sunken. Like he's been. I want this. This is like the climactic part of whatever his journey is. He's come this far, and now it's like he's having to run once again instead of fight. It's a whole like crux to his character, is that like he really wants to fight and he wants to be a hero, but he's scared. It's this whole, has the potential to be this whole thing. I really like this guy. We haven't named anyone. And I think I do have a name for this guy. And are you guys ready for me to be more boring than I've ever been? Just because I like him, and usually when I like a character, usually when I really like a character, the name for them is a little less silly. And so I think I'm just going to call him just call him Foot. And you might think that's a pretty silly name, but it's like he was named Foot because his parents loved football, and they really wanted him to play. And there's a lot of baggage there. And then we'll call him the One. That's an O. We'll call him the One. And you know what, Brent, mentioned it earlier, how he thought that the snake-like one looked like a 2, and this one's just straight up and down. So he'll be the 1, and he'll be the 2. And no one knows why they're here, and they're okay with that, because their dark machinations should not be explained. I found a new button that lets me center this thing in the screen, which is very useful, and I'm shocked I didn't know that it existed earlier. And so here we are, the 1, the 2, and Foot, and their grand conflict. So thank you so much for joining me on Late Night Creatures. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. I look forward to seeing you all next week. There's a whole backlog of episodes if you're stuck in quarantine and are looking for something to chill out to, or if it's a pretty chill show. And so, yeah, we have a backlog. We have over 50 episodes of this show. So, yeah, again, thanks for joining me. I hope you all have a great night, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.